All right, welcome to Group 1, Meeting 8 for CIT 261. Off with a lesson by Ryan, and then we'll have a lesson by Catherine. Ryan, are you ready?
I'm ready to go.
I can see your screen.
Perfect. All right. Today we're going to go over CSS3 transforms, designing, defining, triggering without a custom library. I don't have a whole lot of slides because I figured this was pretty simple. Transforms let you modify a property in space. Which is a little different than the transitions, which go over time. This one is mostly just for coordinate space. So the syntax is transform, and then you can do none, a function, inherit, or initial. Here's some of the different web browser specific syntaxes. And these are some of the main properties. The ones that I use the most: translate, scale in any of the axes, or rotate. So these are the ones that I normally use. And then I just have a couple examples. So it was a really short presentation today. But it actually works out really well to do a lot with images, and that's what I normally use transforms with. So if this first one is a transform, we're just going to scale the image when you hover over it. So when you hover, it just zooms in on the picture. Then we have a couple zoom outs, which is basically the same thing. It just kind of scales back the image to a standard size. There's a little slide version where it transforms and it scales it while it's sliding. Just makes it a little nice little feature there. So, and then the last one is just to rotate the image. And that's all done with the transform of that. Then I've done this with the transform before on a hover, where it pulls the image up and makes it look like a card. Gives it a little contrast from the background, and that's just with this transform here. It does a slight translate, moving the image up a little bit, and then scales it slightly. It makes it look like it's just popping off the page when you hover over it. And then another way that I've used transforms is actually inside of animations. And I think that's what most of us do. These ones are used for these buttons. So when you click on it, it gives a little, makes it look like it's jumping a little bit. This one, it flicks it out. This one just kind of twists the button, and then this one just spins it. And that's all done with the different translates, translating, rotating, and scaling, and different things like that. So those are the examples that I have. Sorry, it was really short, but I figured we've covered most of this stuff with the other ones anyway. So, any questions?
Nope.
No, but that's really cool. I liked what you did with the images. I didn't think of trying that. I might use that in my project.
Yeah,
Yes. How are you zooming into those?
So, like these ones. So the zoom in. So this one is right here on the zoom in. So I have a hover one, and it's on the figure image and the figure itself. So it kind of does a little different stuff with the because it drops out in this hover. So what it does is it just does a transform right here. Is the base, where it just has already scaled it to 1, and then on hover it scales it to a 1.3. So that's all it is it just scales the image up. And obviously it's cropped inside this box so that the overflow is hidden, so that when it zooms in, it doesn't make it bigger.
See, okay, that's how you did it. Great, that's fantastic.
And then it's basically the same thing here, just in reverse. It starts bigger with the overflow hidden, and then it just zooms out.
Cool.
Oh, thanks for that explanation.
Yeah.
All right. See, Catherine, are you ready?
I'm ready. All right. Can you guys see my PowerPoint and everything?
Yes.
Okay. Great. So I'm going to be talking about transitions. And with all like the transitions and transforms and animations, I was kind of getting them all confused. So I defined it. So basically it's going from one state to another. Okay. So kind of the syntax is pretty simple. You'll define this in your CSS as a transition. And then you'll put the property that you want to transition with and how long you want it to last. And so like examples, say I want to transition my width and I want it to last 2 seconds. That's like a single property. And you can actually do multiple properties and just a comma separated list, or it's property duration. And there's some other things that can go in here as well, but I'll let you guys look those up. So one of the things you can actually specify is the speed. And so I like to think of this as like kind of like how fast it's going and over time. And so I kind of did some charts here. So like if you use the ease, it starts slow, then goes fast around the middle, and then goes back to being slow at the end. And that's by default, that's what all of them are if you don't specify one of these other ones. And then linear is just constant. It's not going to go, it's just medium throughout the whole thing. And then ease in is just slow start, and then it goes to medium, ease out. It's kind of the reverse. It's medium and then ends slowly. And then ease out is kind of a combination of the two. And then you can also specify a custom one with the cubic Bezier. And then there's some other properties you can define, such as delay, like if you want it to wait a certain amount of time before it actually begins the transition. Or it's really cool to combine it with transforms as well. And so that's all I've got as far as my PowerPoint. Thought I'd show you just some examples of what I did. So basically I have some shapes here, and then if I hover over them, they do different things. Like they transition into a different shape over time. This one changes colors. And this one is combined with a transform, so it moves. And this one's a transform scale. Do you guys have any question, or do you want to see my code or anything?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Well done.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. Back my screen. Okay. So shout out to Catherine last week for helping me with the JSON web services. Thank you very much. Got me unstuck. Need any help on there? There's you look up Terrence Eden's blog. And that's what Catherine was able to show me. Have any help topics?
Nope.
Nope.
Good.
All right, guys. Well, this is our end of meeting. Up next, we will have Chris, and we'll meet at the same time, 10 a.m. on Saturday.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Have a good week, guys.
Yeah.